bird session. Here we go. So we got the stock racing on now. Let's just relax a little bit. Pre-market trading chill out session. That's it. Alright, what we got? Z car is up, so I've already taken a trade this morning. Sorry about that, but SMR short. It was on there yesterday. Took it yesterday as well on the live stream, and it just done everything again. Yeah, benchmark 2. So that's my favourite area to short. Target down here, and that's why I take the cash off at this target, is because you don't always get down to the first target here, the second target, so that still remains. And then this morning we now have exactly the same again, so I shorted that. I was anticipating the break of this buy liquidity pool. That's good, and I covered it about 996. Obviously there was more in it here. We've double bottomed into that. I'm just trying to work out why that is, whether that's a standard level. I don't think I brought my levels up from yesterday. We go for that overall. Yeah, so this is now a wider pool because of the height that we went to yesterday before we drew this. So ultimately looking for 9s on this. Now this has got further to go, I believe, because I think it ran more than one day, did it? Or not? So have a look at the higher time frame. Oh no, we've got loads. Look, this could come all the way back down now. This is a beautiful short. So let's have a look. Yeah, so we are going to take it from this guy here. Oops. Can I grab that? It's going to let me grab that. It's a little bit thin. Okay, so that's our ultimate target down here at 5s. We're currently sitting at 977. We've taken some off at our first height. So ideally now what we want to see, as this is negated, right? So we anticipated the break of that buy liquidity pool and that pushed through. So there's a short on there, right? We know when these fail, get the momentum come in. So there's a short. If you're going to break out trade, they're the ones that you want to take. And now this whole swing today has a level up here. Now this could be a session short, could be pre-market. We don't know when it's going to be. We don't know when that momentum's going to come back in, and we don't know if it's going to pull back there at all. Okay, but we do know we've got it up there. The most recent one, it's going to be this push down, and it's right there right now. Okay, so that's the most immediate one. I would much prefer this one to break, get up here, look for a short around 1050, 1060, and let's do it again. So that's SMR. That's what I'm looking for. So beware of the level we're at right now. Tops at 983 on that one. Now, what else we got on the race up here? Z car. You can see on there in the top left. Oops, grab this over. yeah, we've got a race going on here. Let's bring these up. Just as we come into spring and we get the Formula One coming back, I thought I'd do the race view instead of the standard alert view. So Z car's winning the race at the moment. So if we, okay, you can see that we've hit this benchmark and we're doing some form of accumulation at the highs here. Benchmark 2 is up here, the bogey level's in the middle, so I'm not eager to short this at the moment. All I'm doing at the moment is checking if buy hold levels are holding and sellers hold levels are failing. So here's the buyer's hold that held there at 175. And we bring it across. There's the first swings buy zone that's been hit, and you can see we're just kind of tweaking below that. There's those moving averages and the VWAP that is pushed down there too, and it's coming back. So let's see if we can't get a close above here now. So we do know that this one failed, so sellers failed this one, so buyers hold and sellers fail. That means the uptrend is still intact. Now what we notice here is this swing here did come back to the sellers hold level here. We're also holding this one. So if I was at a better level, now benchmark 1's a pretty good level, but I don't like the way we pushed above it. If we'd have put in this sort of pattern here and retested and then come off, I'd prefer it more, but it's not to say it's not going to work. But let me check that bogey level. So we didn't quite get to the bogey level. So it could just be like a pin bar above. Like if we look at the 5 minute, is it just a pin bar? If we look at the 10 minute, the benchmark held fine. So that's what you got to watch out for, is that context of the time and what it looks like. And when you look at it on a 15 minute, looks like benchmark 1 is holding no problem. But right now we do know that sell side is starting to hold. All right, so I'm just going to keep an eye on that. I'm kind of happy to miss it and see what it does in pre-market at the moment, just purely because I would much rather take this at benchmark 2. Doesn't mean it's going to get there, but I'd much rather take this at 250. Right now it's kind of a $2 play. But let's see what we get. We have failed kind of everything on the way up, trend lines, all that sort of thing. Wow. Turn this light down in my face here. Let's warm it up a bit. Turn it down a bit. That's better for me. Okay, so that's Z-Car. BITI was on the run. LICI, let's have a look at LICI. So BITI, by the way, this is a low volume float. This is already kind of played out on this one. I'm gonna leave that alone for a little bit. CJET now is a benchmark 1 play. CJET hasn't been up any higher than its benchmark 1. It held the middle of its benchmark 1, so I prefer this sort of benchmark 1 play because it's just acknowledging the benchmark. Hasn't come back and give us our textbook yet. Our textbook play would have been up there at kind of 84, 85. As we move down, we're now moving down to 80, 85. So we're going to put an alert there. If price comes up there, we will look to get short. Let's have a look at LICI running the race at the moment. Okay, so this one, where's it got to? So this one is a benchmark 2 play. I've marked this. I've been waiting for this one for a while, I think. Yeah. So this one's been a few days in the making, right? So I like that when that happens. A few days in the making, you'll find its last buy side liquidity pool So it'll be the one that come from this low in pre-market to this high of day on that day, and it held all the way across. Then it decides to actually pump, goes to the bogey level here, pulls back, and now goes to benchmark 2. So I like it here, but it's a multi-day play. It's come in with momentum here yesterday, another momentum push today into benchmark 2. Question is, there is other stuff above. People looking left will see kind of 180s, they'll see 280s. So I'm just going to redraw LICY, see if I can't find anything else on that. If I look on the daily, just to check I'm not missing anything. Let's grab LiquiVision over onto this screen. Okay, yeah, we've got a bigger area we can play with if I look to a higher time frame, but it doesn't align with what everyone else is looking at, looking left, so bothered. Alright. Now I'm not going to let that put me off. So there's a level up here at 220, and we've got this double one right smack in the middle of a bigger daily benchmark now. So the idea for this is today is to see if we can't get a pullback. So this is a situation when we know we do have something higher on the daily that we can pop to. Is to say, right, well, we've got this level here, which is the low of yesterday. Well, it's not the low of yesterday's session, but it's the first area that I would have looked to for a pullback. So the first area we have to, and this is why I look to these levels, we don't know that this is going to be an all. Okay, so if the stock is going to continue with momentum on a program trade, the program trade means it's going to come back and get a better price. If the program trade is still ongoing, it's going to get a higher price. And we don't know at the minute if the program trade will finish at 145 or if the program trade will finish higher at 230 up here. What we do know is to keep stocks on the exchange, they like to be above $1. So, you know, if we're going to come straight back down here and rest at 80s, that's not really the idea. So, in any case, we don't know that. All we know is our first target would be down here around 115, 110, possibly 105 if it wants to push to the lowest level. But if we start to work out of that, then either it's going to double top or it's going to push higher. And whoops, and notice I was going to say, let's put that back where it was, because that is kind of retail level. The bogey level is going to sit in the middle there somewhere as well. Put the bogey yellow. So that's what we've got. We don't know what it's going to do. We're just going to keep an eye on it. But because this is a benchmark 2 and a middle of a benchmark 1, we will look to that 1 minute chart to play it. Okay, so what we do know is we already, I keep grabbing that line. What we do, we come from here, 1 minute level sitting up here, right, which we didn't go for. So that's a sign, if it doesn't come back down for it, that it may want to go higher first, which is fine. So all we're going to do is see if we can't get that nice little entry. So it's not fallen off a cliff. Right? We know that it's not fallen off a cliff. It's still getting bidders come in the pre-market. Let's move it up. So So looking here now, we're just tapping into that sell side liquidity. first level, and we'll see if we get any momentum off that. So a confirmation of here is if we can close at this 138 underneath these stair steppers that are currently holding momentum to the upside. And we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. We're just going to put a little alert down here. So it's all a bit slow this morning. So look, LICY clearly winning the momentum race there at the moment. It's near the finish line before the race will start again. We've got SSL, OCGN. That's up the biggest at the moment in this timeline. We do have others. These low float winners are struggling to move any higher. So having a look back, so let's just have a look at SMR again. The other short potential for today, ANNX. Oh, it's coming off already. I wanted that to pop up to about 630, 650. So alright, we'll look at that later towards the open. Yeah, so SMR you can see is holding its sell side liquidity. It's not looking like it needs to get up to 1050 again with momentum. So as we're kind of there at 920, there might be a play in it, but it's a little bit risky. I'm going to wait and see if we get 1050. That's the ideal. And you can see, right, this momentum at this time has stopped. We've now gone into a range at the minute, even though you could put your most recent trend line kind of across there and see if it holds. But really the momentum play is done. It is where I entered earlier. Alright, just a quick look. So CJET. So CJET's working out its first target from this first pre-market from low, if you like, the first pre-market low. That would have been first target at 72. And like I say, whether you want these or not, you're going to have to buy some, short some shares. You're going to have to locate these if you're not on a prop firm. Trade the boy, you don't need to do any locates. But if you are on a cash account, you will need to locate that stock to short. And the question is, you know, how much is that locate to borrow that stock to short? And if you are, you know, where can you get short? If you're thinking of getting short at 82 and your first target 72, that's 10 cents. You need to make sure that your locate cost is covered by the profit on your trade. So you're gonna need to be borrowing like 5,000-10,000 shares here for that 10 cents to make sense. 10 cents to make sense. Okay, so that is Bitty. FBIO's winning the race now, so let's have a look. So we've got CJET on watch. BITI is kind of doing its thing, but not great. I'll pull some levels on BITI in a minute. ZCAR is one that I do like. It's holding outside liquidity right now. I just like to see that higher. Might not get it pre-market, but we'll see. But if this drops off now, there's a level here. Okay, so momentum can come in if we already identified that the sell side liquidity is there. See that? We've just broken that buy side liquidity. So we're at an area here. LICY. Where VWAP buyers have got in and it's hit the sell side liquidity, so they're underwater at the moment. Their stops are very, very close to around here, right? It's going to be about 180. If they're into 181, maybe a little bit lower. So that's what I'm looking at there. So ZCAR short would be looking for let's actually look for its most recent before we do that. Okay, yeah, so that's nice. So that if we were shorting at 214, this would have been 190 would have been our first target. Now we're going to take literally the lows of pre-market, come all the way up here. Now I'm going to target this 154 level here, so that could be a nice short. That momentum comes in now, and we have closed below the VWAP. That looks nice. Ideally 191 would have been a bit the better short because we're all down at 179. Let's have a look what we got. So Zcar is the biggest gainer at the moment, percentage wise. Percentage change from the close is 52% up, with a better risk. And the answer to that is yes, we know we've broken this. This would be not a chase. It is a decent breakout, and we can get momentum in where it just, you know, starts to hold these stair steppers down here. But ultimately, if we take that high from the nearest high swing point down to the low, that's what we would want to hold next. Rather than kind of chase that move down, I much prefer to short the pops. So if we come up to 185, 186, 188, anywhere around there, and see a little bit of rejection, that's the better place to get in. So set your alert on 180. Set it at 185. So if Zcar pops up to 185, we'll get the alert. LICY did alert. Okay, so exactly what LICY has done there, right? So LICY, that's the textbook entry. I've missed that 142 because I've waited 3 minutes looking at the other play. So 137 to 126 is 10 cents down to the first target. The second target, you could get a little bit more out of that. You are just under VWAP. But that's a pretty nice trailer. They've tried 3 times and failed. So all we need to know now is, you know, the ultimate confirmation, which is that buy zone. The ultimate confirmation of sell is the close under the buy zone, and of course we can always get a better entry just zooming in here. Okay, if we come down to that level, that would be great. So let's just anticipate that, and then we could say, right, well, do you know what, we want a better price, so we will wait for 140. Zcar's popped, is it? So Zcar has just popped to that level there now. So we didn't chase 181. There's 186 there. Do we have a trend line forming around here? Yeah, so that's kind of come into the trend line, coming into our sell side liquidity area. Let's just zoom in and see what we've got here. Okay, so we're currently sitting there at 187 in sell side. Let's see if we get a little bit of rejection off of Zcar here. Zcar's now second in the race. FBIO is there. So that's why we're working through this area. Buy side pull. So what if we want to get into this play? The first thing is we've got a benchmark above us, right? We've got a higher, we've got 250 sitting up here. There's LICY as well. So all the while this buy side holds, just take a look at LICY. All the while this buy side holds, we could still go right up to 250 or 225. If we fail in here, then there's an opportunity to anticipate the break of that, come down to here, and then go for it in once the session opens, right? But for the minute, let's have a look at LICY. Oh, see, it's rejecting there. Let's just see if I can grab a position at 187, just above where the market is now. You can't market order in here. So look at LICY. So see if I get filled on that. Okay. So LICY didn't come down and grab this. It has gone into the sell side liquidity pool. Ignoring that one. So this trend line broke and you pushed up to the sell side liquidity. So now if you're changing it, you've got to join the points that are on this benchmark. And you see you're getting red in this area. Can it close? Can it close below? It needs to reject, not just be in it. SMR's coming on off. Let's say it's coming out of that zone there, so still coming off for SMR. That could be an all-day fade, by the way, SMR. You can't see my finish line. Look, I've actually got a finish line over here on this. Look, if I drag it, see the finish line? I like that. Can I get that finish line in a bit? What can you see there? Oh. All right, I'll sort that out. I'll sort the template out and. Doesn't let me bring that in any further, unfortunately. Alright, in any case. Alright, so ZCAR is up there. ZCAR's holding its VWAP right now. And just coming out. So let's see. Can we anticipate this short on VWAP? I don't. I didn't get 187 filled. It's moving down there. It's 184, 183, 182, 181. Alright. Where's the gap? I'm moving that limit order down to 183, so I'm in the queue. Needs to pop up one to get it, if not I just got filled that on ZCAR. So now we need to break this 181. So if we come down to 179, there's a very high possibility that we can fill this gap now to 156. Let's see. But the whole point of this is 183, stop at 189. So just like 6-7 cents stop there, depending on the slippage or anything. But LICY, see what LICY is doing. Yeah, the same. So set another sell side liquidity held, and this is the point where you have to kind of make a decision and say, right, well, 1, 2, 3 times in there. Now we've held our sell side liquidity, which is the lower one. Okay, so this is lower, this is lower, this is lower. Was that actually? Did we need that? No, didn't get to that. So we didn't get up there to 146, 147. But yeah, it's not super lively this morning. It's all yeah, there's no aggressive shorts on the cards. Let's have a look at LIFE. They're very light on volume, life. Okay, let's take a look and see where we've come from on this. So life. So if we're looking at this kind of on the 4 hour here, you can see we've been working up. We've hit benchmark 1 here, and we worked our way through it, right? 3 drives to the top there, and then we've come back to a buy side liquidity pool. Which one was working? So yeah, you can see that worked across here, this one and this one. So I'll bring that across, bring this down. So we had this high here, come into the middle, and then this high here, we'll put it into the bottom of the liquidity pool, and then we've rushed out. Okay, so at this point what I would be saying is, okay, so if that was going to be a benchmark 1 short, we know the first indication that that was going to sell off was that we held the sell side. Otherwise we would have pushed forward. So we held the sell side, so there was a short there. But look at what this is days. This is from the 28th of February to the 14th of March. And now even if we take our most recent one, but there's 2 here, there was that one there that worked. But let's take this down to the bottom. So this was our sell side liquidity that failed. That's where our momentum has come from this morning. Okay, so your liquidity failed here. Look, pump, 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 and then it goes. Now the bogey level is here, which you could argue is just off. So let's just yeah. So the bogey level's up there 30. We hit 25. Now remember, this benchmark may be hit, it may not be hit. It could be hit in session, it could be hit in pre-market, it could be smashed right through. We don't know. So let's have a look at what everybody else is looking at. See what we've got. So this is why I like this stock, right? This is why I like these plays. It's because you got unusual volume for this stock. Look, that is unusual volume for this stock considering its average, and that is the indication this one's gonna pop at some point. So that's what should put it on your watch list. It will be on your scanner that day, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the best day to get in. Sometimes they pull right back lower for their liquidity pool before they go. So what I'm looking for is some other form of volume at a decent area, and that would be one there that you can consider. Right, so that 245 level is up there, and you've got these double highs, but they're not on volume. Right, so this is the one that's on volume. What's this guy? Okay. Right, you could argue there's a couple of volumes there that everyone else is going to be looking at. Now this one here is right aligned with my, let's call these red. Okay, so that's what everyone else is looking at. My bogey level is in there at 230. We've just broke sell side liquidity. Now the only issue is we are stacking both, right? So this is going to be confusing. No, it's not. That is what I've just drawn.
Spiff.
Okay, so that's the bit we've got to break. We broke it in pre-market this morning because we're up here, look, 218. Now the question is, what is it going to do around these levels, right? So we're kind of pausing at this level that was drawn on. We know this got one up here at 245. We've got 255, 260 up here on the benchmark. So I'm looking for something a little bit more aggressive from Life. It's quite light on volume. What's our volume on Life? Yeah, so it's disappeared off the race because it's down here now. Look, it's in last place. Where's my news? So let's go and find
Spiff. Spiff.
XPV.
Works. 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 Works.
So I'm looking at that is the wooliest news I've ever seen in terms of the volume today. It's 864,000. That is
Works.
obviously bigger than usual volume. But nothing to get excited about at this point in time. So what I'm going to do is put an alert up here. I think I'm going to favour, I'm going to put it at the bogey level 230 and see if we get another push out of Life. We'll put it on the watch list for this morning. Let's see what happens here. So ZCAR into its sell side liquidity pool here. We want it to push out and we want it to break the buy side pool. Now if it doesn't and we close above, it can go to 196, 197 because it didn't fill this whole block. So we've got this little gap here that it can pop to. That at the minute, this is not a momentum play, but if it were, we want to drop out of here and break this liquidity pool, and then we can get some momentum into the downside side to the gap. That's what we're hoping for at the moment.
Works.
Stop. We are in this at an average of 185, right? So no problems. We're currently 2 cents in it. We're aware the trend line is broken, but we are playing the liquidity pools, not the trend lines. So let's see what happens with that. So ZCAR, sorry, not ZCAR, Works is being called out on the ticker and is winning the race. Let's see what we've got. So it looks like we're in a sell side liquidity pool. Let's zoom out, see what we've got. No, it is just being. No, again, woolly news on Works. Not convinced that's anything. Okay, alright, so we've done this before. So if Works is going to run. Okay, so this is the zone we don't want to be in. Okay, we don't want to trade in this zone. We want to be looking for the gap. So this is obviously popped on volume before, see? And this is like going through days and days and days, but there's unusual volume pops which can be an indication that this will go. The news is absolutely woolly. You know, it's like a news article saying, is it still time to buy Works? So no real catalyst on Works that I can see at the moment, but this, if I am longing small caps, that is what I want to long. Yeah, I want to take that meter move from 3 to 5, and if I'm lucky and it shoots up, yeah, okay, let's get rid of it. If I'm lucky and it shoots up to 9, then happy days, right? If the momentum just says, yeah, we can stay in. But at the moment, all we can say is that Works is holding buy side liquidity on each swing. So we take these lows to these highs, buy side liquidity held. Move it along to the next one, buy side held. So you can move all these along, even these pops, buy side held. Yeah, so now we're moving out of buy side again. So these are the longer term plays, right? This is a specific strategy that you can play when you're spotting inside ownership, unusual volume, and for no reason these stocks are going to pop, right? Generally without a catalyst, some form of woolly news, whatever that may be, and they can just run. So it's a strategic kind of play. And we do know that we are now pumping out again on volume, but we've done that twice already. So today could be another day, but the safest play is to wait for the break of 3 up here, the close above. You can anticipate it by all means, that's the lowest risk to reward, but you are still buying in the manipulation zone. So it may be that we pop up today and pull back, and then that will be the nicer move to get the next buy liquidity pool, which at the minute on this pre-market sits down there at 190.
Works.
Yeah, so this, compared to anything that's in the race, the fact that Works is being called out audibly means that it has the money flow on the tape, and those settings are set to look for. Actually, they're still on yesterday's settings. They're quite low actually today because of yesterday Nasdaq was short. I need to increase those. But yeah, so today it's Zcar, CJet and Works that have been audibly called out, whereas everything else I'm looking at is just something that is moving at this time and winning the race. So Works currently winning that race. Let's see, we're coming out from Works. So no smash and grabs this morning by the looks of it, apart from SMR earlier.
Works.
Okay, so these red levels were drawn off of a different area low. So I'm going to draw the current ones in, which for the instance is going to be lower because I'm looking at a smaller time frame. But there is some sort of alignment with these, as you can see. So benchmark 1 we've tapped into. Is that a trend line? No, we haven't. Right. So benchmark 1 is going to be just above the breakout. So that's why if we do get a push into this kind of 370, 340, 350 area, we could then just come back down for a buy side liquidity pool. But the benchmark 2 area here is just below the benchmark 1 that I drew before. Okay, so there's plenty of movement. These are all days, right? So this is going on and on and on and on and on. So this could be something that flips and we fill all these within a couple of days, or this could work out for days. We're just going to keep it on watch for the time being and see what we get. That works. Right, quick look back at Zcar. Let's put that on. So we've got all these ones. Let's have a quick look here. Okay, so life. Let's get back down to a decent time frame. So yeah, so life's still not a huge amount of volume in that to get into at the moment. Might have to wait until the session. LiCY, again, really taking its time here, but theoretically it's doing its thing, right? This is what I'm looking for. The gap is here.
Works.
This is 139 rejection, 140 rejection, now coming down into 135 to 133 support. We don't know what's going to hold and what's not, so all I'm doing at the moment is just trying to identify when the momentum's going to kick in. The work's still getting some money flow. LiCY I'm holding on to. CJet is working out to the short side now. So you didn't get our play, but you are now working through these levels. And CJet, you can come all the way down on this play from the lows of the 14th. So that would be the ultimate resting target for this stock. Now, that's assuming you don't want to go up to these, okay? That's the ultimate resting place at the moment. If we go higher, that resting place will also go higher. BITI still up there. I'm going to draw that on in a sec. Zcar 185, we're at 184. We want to see what's happened with CJet happen to Zcar. If it did actually yep. So that's what's happening with Zcar at the moment, is it's pulling in. We have a buy side liquidity. If we're getting involved in that sale, we're anticipating the break. See what we get, see if we get that coming. Let's put a little alert. Oh, I have got an alert down here. So just checking work, still pushing. So it's holding the momentum. Look, it's holding the momentum here at the moment. So let's see if that continues. We'll expect that to get called out. Still winning the race up here. Let's have the look at second and third place. CGC. Nothing for me on that. That's too light. That's the problem with everything that moves. It's not necessarily the bit. Oh, let's see what we've got here. Oh no, that's and that's why I used it. See, look, this is the manipulation zone. So when I'm saying I don't get involved in that because we've got levels above, that is why, because you can literally just peak to the top of that, then come all the way down. So this was the buy side liquidity sitting there, and we failed below that. And it just keeps you out of trouble. And now we're using the back side of it, so actually CGC could be a short from that pop at 4s to continue lower, but that's not the kind of thing I ideally look for. But that is why it's popping. NCMI. And if you look at CGC, what we got on the nose for CGC, anything kind of time. So it has an unusually large group of volume of options trading at the moment. Again, it's another defense stock, canopy growth. So, but the news is not woolly, right? There's no contracts there. No contracts, no partnerships, no phase results for biotechs. It's just... So Roku's up. GOEV, let's have a look at GOEV because that's a stock from yesterday. So this is similar to SMR. So taking the most recent move here. So GOEV was at a benchmark too. Let's just have a look at this on the daily. See if there's anything huge I'm missing, because if you look at it from the daily perspective, you know, this could be its first unusual volume day. It's got earnings coming up, and it's a reverse stock split 1 for 23. So there's something going on here. They want to keep that. That price was just going to continue to fall under $1, right? So action is being taken. 1 for 23 is going to push the price of the stock up anyway, purely because they're removing the supply from the overall float of the stock. So now we are pushing up, but this could be the kind of first day we're getting that unusual volume, and then we could go sideways for a bit, and then we could really get a run. Now that run, if it were to happen, would mean I'm not looking at intradays. Okay, so if this was going to go supernova, that's where you'd be looking at. So right now, this benchmark 2 that we've got was intraday. Woo. So the key levels are, what we can see is our buy side liquidity pool on the very, very first level is holding. 260s down there and 250s down there if they need it. From yesterday, we didn't tap in to the sell side liquidity pool. Really, you could argue we tapped into the first level, which would be fine, and that was a nice short yesterday. But the first target was 280s, and 280s is holding GOEV. We've now popped to the upside, and we're chilling at the minute. So for us, we have a gap that we can short between this 320 to 280 for 40 cents. What we're looking at, are we holding sell side? And yes, we did in the first instance in pre-market hold sell side. So we're stacking sell side in this area. And now the most recent one, just below it. It's just below it, right? It's right here at 323. It's the backside of the VWAP as well. So the answer is sell side liquidity is holding. The only problem is from the post-market to the high of pre-market. Oh, that's not a problem. That's still decent enough. See, if we are getting short, we've got a target down here. the reason we're going sideways with that no momentum to the downside is because we are holding buyer side liquidity. So we've come down and got it. We haven't got the very last level, but we are holding buyer side liquidity. So that's why we get trapped. We just get trapped between the two, and there becomes less edge because we don't know at the moment if the stock wants to break higher, either retest the highs or break 370 and start to go for its daily levels. Right up there at $7 would be the next stop. So if you think about it like that, this pre-market could be the earliest opportunity to get long for a stock that's going to 7, right? But you have to then anticipate that you are going to break all of this. Now it's fine because if you get above 335, you're going to be in the money to 360. That's 30 cents. That can be a bit of a buffer. You can move your stock to break even, and then it's a free trade when you're trying to get it up there to 7 and trade that gap. If you look at it on a 30-minute, for example, you've come from 127 to 380. So the stock's tripled in value anyway over the past 2 days. Question is it going to go supernova on the daily today? So the best thing to do is wait and see. But it does mean you're not going to get the nicest entry. Obviously we come down here, if this fails we come down here, that's an even nicer entry if this holds and then we go to 7, right? So just about playing that risk and reward at the moment. So at the minute I'm not shorting this unless I see a decent, really like strong pop and then we close again under. Then I think we've got something to fill this gap, and I would cover down there at 290s because I do know we've got something else up there. So I really like Geo EV. Gonna bring that down. So LIFE still nothing on volume. LICY again very similar to GOVB. We are trapped right now. So we're just going to need maybe 7 AM, 15 minutes to see that off. We're short ZCAR, but nothing is popping and dropping this morning. It's already happened on SMR. That was it. Take a look and see where that is now. I think that's okay. ZCAR. So ZCAR, look now. See that? That's what sometimes you need for the pop and drop. This one was kind of just working out, and look, the last 2 buy sides have held. That one there and this one here. So they're both held. Now we have this one here, right? Because we popped on volume, so to see this increased volume down here, that was a pop on volume into the higher sell side liquidity. You've got a double top on higher sell side liquidity. Now the question is, can we break this buy side that I haven't drawn in here? It's just literally sitting here. It's the buy side liquidity of that up move that's just popped. Now you can see anyone else is just looking at these kind of moving averages here. The VWAP's holding, right? So buy side still holding. We did get a nice pop to that sell side, but that does not mean it's a better sell unless this breaks, right? So we know we've got the level above. All I'm doing to manage this trade is to continue to say, does sell side? I know this sell side failed, right? So
Bitty.
That's a point down for the shorts and 1 point up for the longs, because the longs have not failed buy side yet. So now my stop has to become kind of 195 above this level, or 198 above the level that it just tapped into, because it got to 196. So here we go again. So we're now pushing XTIA. I need to look at XTIA. Okay, I'm rejected, which is nice. But what we want to see is to follow through to the downside on this, right? It's not good enough to just keep rejecting because we're still stuck between these two. We want these to pop and drop. So in any case, let's have a look at XTAI. XTIA, in fact. Okay, super light volume, and all we got. Aerospace stock, XTI COO sells company shares worth 247 million, I'm assuming. Oh my god. No, it literally is $247. 4,000 shares at a stock price of what? 20 company down to 0 shares. Well, yeah, it's winning the race when he's sold all his shares. Oh my god. Alright, now we've got to look at this because this is a nonsense. This has got to be a dead cat bounce, surely. Oh, I just want to short this right here at 3. It's actually broken its intraday. It's actually broken its intraday benchmark. Look. That can't stay up there for long. Alright, no, it's benchmark 2. Hey! Alright, look. Alright. What's the volume on XTAI? Quick. Give me the volume. I need 41. Why is it not on my platform? XTA. No, you're joking me. This is a short here. Oh, it's XTIA. No one. Oh my god, it can't have a dis. Oh my god, it can't have a dyslexic stock ticker. Schultz. Ah! So it just didn't get filled at 290 there. Immediately drop into 280. One sec. Again at 77, going again for 72. No, it's not filling. This is a trouble with trading plea market. You just can't catch it as it goes down. Yes, I'll have it. That is late. Okay, let's see where we can go from here. So literally we should be in this from 290. We couldn't catch it in at 277. We'll see what it does. If we get a pullback, we will try and get it at 3. Yeah, so the reason I was getting excited about that one is purely because it's popping on absolutely nothing. See that level there? That's why I wanted it. I knew that 310 level had hit. I could see what it was doing as I was cutting the benchmarks. I should have drew the benchmarks after, because I kind of knew that the news was so catastrophic. The CEO has got 0 shares. Yeah, that's just a travesty. Really. So we'll see what it's got. I mean, like these things can do anything, right? It doesn't have to make sense. All that makes sense to me is I've got a benchmark. I've got a benchmark 2 play on the intradays here. It tapped into its first sell side liquidity pool beautifully, and it rejected. Pre-market, you can't just hit the button and get in. You have to limit order in, so that means you have to be kind of above the current price to get in. So you can see here, drag this over, what I was trying to do. You can see my orders trying to get in here, couldn't catch it, trying to get in there, couldn't catch it. I've just caught that last one, so now it's paused. So ideally I just want this to come back from where it came from, but obviously now it come back and grab the liquidity. So I'm leaving these orders in, which will add to the position if it comes back, so long as I stay under that liquidity pool. Obviously if it just dumps through, so this buy side liquidity is why it's pausing. Look. So the buy side liquidity is why it's pausing right here. So, and this is where it just can become, you know, sometimes the news is just irrelevant of what that stock is going to do. It's just something in the news in order to make that stock move. Alright, so let's keep that down. I'm going to keep an eye on this at 295. So the limit order I've left on is the one at 292 where I couldn't catch it. LICY, we'll have a look at that. So any trouble in Z-Car, it is certainly still trapped. Can't break out of this. Well, come on. Yes, you can. By all means, you can do it. You've got a beautiful gap down here to fill. You're holding sell side liquidity here. You've broken the first buy side. Look, that's it there. So it just needs to continue down. What we've got here is a VWAP, right? Yep. LICY gave us an alert, which I'm assuming is a new high. It's not a new high. Okay, it's not a new high. It's a tap into its sell side liquidity pool. So similar thing to what Z-Car done. It wanted to go and grab the liquidity at the higher high. It's holding buy side liquidity now. LICY. Okay, now what have we got above here again? We do have this level up there. This is still the one that I prefer at 250, but again, 1, 2, 3, 4 pops. This is the highest volume it's had at that attempt, is it? No, okay, it's not as high as the first one. So let's see. Let's see if we can break something else. So we want to close below these stair steppers. close, but no first stair steppers would be nice. GeoEV. GeoEV is working down there to its buy side liquidity pool. I want higher for that if I'm going to get short. Works, still working. Buy side liquidity just held by the looks of it. Yep, buy side liquidity held on Works, and sell side liquidity currently held on Works. So that's going to take probably the open to work out what that is going to do, if we are going to get our full pump day on Works or not, or days. So just trapped there between those two at the minute. So Works, Life, nah. LICY, okay, coming down out of that sell side liquidity now. What we want to see is momentum. We can get it coming in at 11 or 7. Could see it now coming off. CJET, beautiful. ZCAR, yep, we need this break. So now there should be some form of liquidity injection coming into the market. LICY looks like it wants it as well. We'll see if it really does. LICY is coming in with some liquidity. ZCAR still failing to break out of these lows here, so we'll just keep an eye on that position. XTIA also having trouble getting shorter. It's an aerospace play, so yeah, we're looking for this 260 to crack. We don't want that buy side liquidity to continue to hold. So we want that trend line to stay, hold price action there now. Be lovely if we can get a crack on here. Now we've got to 7 AM. See if we get that liquidity injection come in. That's it. Nice. Okay, here we go. Now can we break down? Now can we break down? Literally, if we're looking at this on the daily, we can come all the way down and continue down given the news. If not, if we're just looking at this on the intraday, we're just simply taking the lows to its high. It's going to be close down there at 240, 230. ZCAR crossing. ZCAR's crossing. ZCAR's trying to break out as well. So here comes that liquidity that we're looking for. I'm looking for 240, 230 on XTIA. So let's add that. I haven't got that on my watch list and I'm in it. So XTIA, ZCAR. Right, this can be really nice for ZCAR if we can break out here now. We want that momentum to come in because I really do have a nice gap. And that doesn't mean it's over for ZCAR for the day. It just means that its pre-market is coming back to grab liquidity down at 150, 140. Now it can all day fade. Where's it come from? But it probably won't. It probably won't. If I look at this on kind of a higher time frame, unusual volume here back on the 14th. Come on, ZCAR, you can do this.
FNGD.
Back on the 14th, and now we have it super high volume here spiking. So it doesn't mean, we do know ZCAR has a higher level up here at 250, but it would lovely to come down and grab grab 150s, 140s to get it up there to 150s. But at the minute, that doesn't look like it's failed. What we're looking for are these stair steppers to hold it. We want these to hold the momentum, otherwise we're just, because we're just going to track this down. That pop that we went into sell side liquidity, if it's going to continue doing what it's doing and grabbing sell side, oops, it can come back and get it, which is now at 189. But that's not what we want to see. The reason we are in the trade is because we are anticipating this break of the liquidity pool at 180s, and we want to see it fill down to 170s or 155, and ideally quickly.
SQQQ. FNGD. SPXU.
Okay, XTIA is below. We're looking for 230 on this. So again, we're just micromanaging these levels to understand it's not doing what we expect to do, which is we want it to sell off, therefore we want it to keep coming back and getting sell side liquidity, or we want the momentum play on the break of the buy side, which is what we have got right now. This is just a case of where it came from to where it can get to. So playing it the way I'd normally play it is 240 to 230. But if the stock is absolutely that bad, the COO doesn't want to hold any of his own shares, it can break this one just as easy, right? So that's XTAI working out at the moment, and ZCAR is the two tickers that we've chosen this morning, apart from SR. Oh, here we go. So now let's see if we can't keep that up. Come on, ZCAR, that's what we want. So SMR was the other one I shorted this morning, already paid. Look at that, beautiful. That's a beautiful, beautiful trade there. Deep in as the final target you can get for 836, otherwise it's an all-day fade. But straight off the double top into that benchmark,
FNGD.
didn't even come back for, and I didn't need to see it. It was in there, and we were all the way out. What a beautiful trade to have held
SQQQ.
all the way down.
SQQQ.
So they're the trades at the moment. ZCAR 118. See if we can't get some. They could all be like SMR, there'd be no problem. Okay, so looking at target very soon on SSO. Looking to see if we've got how much momentum here now. Just looking to see how quickly this can push. Take half the position off here. Half position off there now, so kind of oh well, we're 500 up on the day already. The people aren't just waking up in the US there. The Nasdaq's been very quiet. There's not a lot looking at the futures. Oh, actually, I'm looking at the Russell. So the Russell is the small caps.
FNGD.
So, oops. So when the volume comes in a little bit later on. All right. So we have left half of a position on here, and this is where it becomes, you know, what. The stock has clearly taken a serious battering. Yeah, oh my god. A serious battering. Okay, it said split. There's its split. That's what split does to your price. Yeah, so ultimately, unless we're planning thinking about it. I should have got it all off really. Unless this stock is planning to go sub $2. Okay, let's see if this momentum can take it. I just think this is going to play out today and come back and grab some more liquidity, and then it's going to rest in this $2 area. So yesterday it faded from 250 to 2. Today is a dead cat bounce. I'm assuming is what they call a dead cat bounce. So it's 315 to 236. That's decent enough. So we're already in those. So if we can close above here, the momentum is over. There would be, you know, it would look to come back now. And this is where you're looking to give up your profit if you don't take it all off. Yeah, so we're still there. So if it wants to carry on going further, and this is the gamble you take now, right? It's because your edge, you've been paid. What we expected to happen happened. Now we've hit the buy side liquidity pool. It's gone into the middle of it, and now it's worked out of it. So it can just as easy come back and grab liquidity from $2.70 or $3 right now, or double top and do exactly the same again. So I find it's 50-50 as to whether or not it's a good idea to leave some on, or whether it's a good idea to just take the whole position off. But at the minute, we're going to see if these stair steppers can hold it. If we double bottom down here, I'm taking it all off. Zcar looks like it's struggling. I think Zcar wants that higher level. Let's see. So Zcar struggling to get much lower. So that's a VWAP play. So VWAP seller's going to come in. You've got liquidity pools up at 191 and the bigger one up at $2. I wouldn't necessarily be happy with that because of our 250 level that's sitting up there. Okay. So but right now the trade's intact. The only thing that I don't like is we broke that trend line. That's what gives us that little bit of momentum coming out there. What I wanted was the resolution quickly down to 150. ENVB is winning the race. Okay, let's have a quick look at what we got here on ENVB. Alright. So this is not new to spiking. We've had this on before. You can see that I've drawn it on before. We've had it. Where did it get to? Just off like 287, 310 was the benchmark. And then it come right off. So what you got to watch with this one is if that's a first day momentum play, right? And then you got its resting liquidity pool from that all the way down here. So ENVB is now working its way out of its liquidity pool. Super wide liquidity pool up there because of where it's come from. So that's the gap it can fill. Now let's have a look at benchmarks. Damn. Okay. Intraday.
NCMI, NCMI, NCMI.
if it's going to do another pump today. Right, the pre-market play, it was just into at 150 and has come off. So that's what you're looking at on the small term time frame. Okay, so that is kind of the ideal play. It's a double top, but that's what we'd have been looking at. A benchmark 2 intraday. It's questionable whether it has the legs to, you know, again, it's a 150 play.
NCMI.
Yeah, so just rejected off that. We double topped into it. The closes held 145. So that is what we look for. The only thing to consider is this still backside? It has popped before. If we're taking those longer term objectives on the benchmarks, these are the pre-market ones, you can go up to 224, 160, 180. Obviously 220 sitting there in the sell side liquidity from where it come from before when it was playing up here. So that again could just be a little backside pop, but 150 was the short. It's still holding momentum stair steppers at the moment, so you'd need to see a close believe 133. It's kind of really only got 15 cents in it unless it wants to go super low. I don't really like that. We can put it on watch, but only in case it gets up to, where do I want to see it? $2
socks
or 170.
SQQQ.
Yeah, so I think we're going to 50 and we'll go try and hit one of these for a short later. What else have we got? What else is playing out? ZCAR and XTIA. So ZCAR. Oh, nice. Come on, ZCAR. That's what we're looking for. This is the pattern that we're looking for
QID.
now. So it will have this area to contend with at 170. But we want to blast through and we want to take some off at 150. That would be ideal. XTIA. Yeah, I'm probably going to cover that. I'll leave it going for the minute, but that momentum's not really there for me. If we've got 5 bars to the right of that last one, it's not continuing momentum. So here's 170. Let's see if we can't get a pump down. So if I want to take at 150, it could be literally a drop all the way down there. So let's see what XTIA has got here, ZCAR has got here. Bearing in mind there's still 250 up there, so I do think this is a liquidity grab. So 170 holding, unfortunately. I need that to continue to drop. I need the next candle to be red. I don't have these lines on here for no reason at all. But I am hoping they're going to give way to the shorts. The pre-market shorts right now.
Boil.
XTIA. Okay, so coming down there, let's see. So that's a double bottom right now. Happy to take it all off here, really, but let's have a look at that 2 hour again. Look at that drop. It's just Well, what we do know is if it's going to drop, it's got to fail, right? If we're going to get any more sell side momentum coming, it has to break 223 because there's nothing underneath it that, well, you know, if you look over to what everyone else is looking at here, there's going to be 208. There's 226. That's a gap down right there to the bottom of that zone. So let's see what we've got now. Just checking Z-car while that's working. Okay, Z-car's working as well. So we need Z-car to continue. This would be a momentum play with these, you know, if we can get the colour change there from green to red or a little bit higher, that would be nice. That could help get us down to the 150s. Another 20 cents would be good. Alright, XTIA. So we've got half off of XTIA. Let's see what it can give us. EMVB. Okay, so EMVB is pushing now, so we've got those higher levels up there. That would be all good and nice if they can push, because I'm looking to short EMVB. I definitely think this is still backside looking at where we've come from. Look. It was up there. Did we have, was that benchmark 1 or benchmark 2? Alright, I'm going to bring this over. You could argue we didn't tap it, but it's probably where I've drawn it that might be 5 cents off. But if that's pushing, we know why.
ENVB.
There's the push on ENVB, so that's kind of the money flow coming in now on ENVB as opposed to it winning the race up there. CATX is winning the race right now. That was on the scanners last night. Okay, so double top into 121. What else has this done so far? Anything? Okay, so it's done its session benchmark. It's broke above. That's coming off now.
ENVB. ENVB.
So that's nice. That's complete. So I'll have a look on that. Draw, cut some more levels on that, see what we've got. I'm not in love with it for totally more upside. I do think that's just going to double top into there, so I'll keep an eye on that. Going all out of XTIA there. Deep into the buy side liquidity there. I'm cool with it dropping down to whatever it wants to, $1 or whatever, but I don't want it to come back and grab liquidity at 270. That's not my pre-market game. So we're now moving that down. 260, 270 is still good for a pop. So I'll set an alert on here. I'm happy to get in again because the news is shocking. Z-car, still think we're trying to break. Yeah, so that colour game didn't quite work out on the momentum play. From that bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, that's kind of, you can argue that's consolidation turning into a range, and we don't like to trade ranges because range is range. There's no edge in them, but consolidation has an edge if we've got momentum. Now, our momentum is sideways in out here. So we want to just get this down here at last chance, a little pop, and get some play out of this at the moment. Let's see how that works out. XTIA. I Forgot myself for a minute there. I market ordered out. I tried to market order out of XTIA, which clearly is not going to work. It's not going to work in pre-market, so I need to limit order out of XTIA. So let's see if I can get a lower price to do that. XTIA.
SPXU.
EMVB. Okay, so EMVB has just tried to pop to that benchmark. There's one up there at 220 as well. But let's just see, as it's getting called out on the scanner at the moment, that means there's money flow. Oh, GOEV is popping up as well, was winning the race right now, so have a look at that. We have alerts set on this, so we're good. GOEV, there was something to look at. Oh, unfortunately, it is Target. It is Target. We didn't get our look back, but that's what we want, right? That's the play. That is the play. Sell side liquidity pull back into another one. That's the short there, up at 330. Anticipating the break of the buy side, and that's how we want a buy side to break. From buy side to the next target buy side. Be out of that. EMVB still trying to mess about, pushing into that 165 level. XTIA. I'm just looking for a limit order out on that right now. ZCAR ranging. I'm still going to hold that for a second. Alright, let's keep these on watch for a minute. I'm going to go grab a drink and get some refreshments, and I will be back in a bit. Try and close these other two trades out for the moment. SM Marshall, XTIA and ZCAR have all worked out nicely before the market even opens. So we've got to trade the pull stream today, half an hour before we open at 9 AM. So that'll be at 9 AM, but I'll be back before that.
Bitty. SPXU. SQQQ.
So we got Z car, didn't draw it in, but coming back for its sell side liquidity. As long as it's closed below it, that's fine.
SQQQFNGD.
So we've got some VWAP sellers coming in our favour now. That's nice. So we want to see if we can't get that momentum now. We know that the buyer side is here. Right, 170 was where we could have taken something off. That's going to drop straight into buyer side now. Look. So now the edge on this one is a little bit weaker unless we can break this now, because 172 is what's holding us up, and that might be all they need to get to 250. So we're just going to let that play out. Let's see what XTIA is doing. I'm still in that. Didn't cover it, but there's not a lot. I just need to limit order out of that in a second. What else we got on the race? CATX is still up there. LICY, what's LICY doing?
Socks.
So just missing its buyer side liquidity there. I'm not short this one, but still same textbook setup up there. Liquidity pool to sell, retest, comes down. And did I short this? No. SMRZ car and XTIA this morning. GeoEV was the beautiful full resolution play. FUSN has been called out too. The MVB up there at 157 now, is it? So let's see what EMVB's got. So all we're doing now is we're acknowledging that sell side failed, and that I'm assuming, and the buy side held there. And here, it's just held again. So you see when they just tick into them, it's like aggressive in the other direction, right? So they didn't need to come back, they didn't need to work it, they tapped into it and then off they go again. So now all we are waiting to see here, because we know there's level above, is whether or not we would want to get involved in a short. Now I like it less now with the obviously the time change we've got in between London and New York at the moment, but we are an hour and a half away before everyone else is going to start looking into positions, so the volume can come in either way. So when we've got a level higher, the easy shorts that we've been taking today, the car maybe not been so easy, but it's been looking at every sell side liquidity pool it's got. So when I see something like that rejection of a sell side and that rejection of a VWAP, I don't want to go and look at that again, because buy side's just held, you know.
QID.
I don't want to go and look at that again, so for that reason I'm going to set a limit order. Right, if this doesn't hold. Okay, because that's clearly failed, right?
SQQQ.
So now we're in a situation where this buy side has held, this sell side did foul, like all of its liquidity has been taken, so there's no more in it. We have a new pool that's sitting right here. We need to close below these stair steppers, else I have it in the trade, because that first target at 171 has held, whereas my first benchmark, my first pool target would have been down at 155. And there's nothing stopping a Z car on the open going for a double top or higher. So just trying to keep the risk limited.
SPXU.
Just going to look at this on the bigger time frame, see what we've got. What does it look like here? So if I'm visualizing what could happen here before we get down here, is two things. This is setting up for a double top, or if we keep green here, if this bar green, or 10 have we? Kind of. Yeah, so that
NVD.
close here would confirm that green is above that red, right? And I don't like that for a momentum short. That momentum is definitely out. So all that's keeping me in at the moment is this newest sell side, which has to close below 178 here and has to break this and go through this gap. Else, I'll cover the position for the profit that I've got at the moment. Okay, XTIA, that could be beautiful if you can punch below there. I forgot about the limit order, so I tried to market order out and didn't feel, obviously, then looked back and realised it was attempting to turn on the colour change. So still a momentum play on XTIA down. We'll see if we can get an alert here at 220, see if that momentum comes in, or whether it just wants to sit in this 210, 213 area from here. And remember, that's that 5-bar rule that I said, that's what can change things. If you're not going to hold it all day, it's not so much of an issue necessarily, but anyone that trades small caps knows that you can shoot up by $5 in an instant. So now's the chance, got buy side liquidity pool there. Just checking that news on Zcar again. What have we got? Grab. Okay, so a strategic partnership as well. So CATX was that double top.
NVD.
I don't really like that. I'm not interested in CATX. It's the very bottom of that liquidity pool holding. So just want to see if these steps can still hold this little push up here to 213, get us back down to 210.
FNGD.
It's you can go anywhere down there. Zcar at buy side holding again now.
Socks.
Okay, so works as clock works done. Short side liquidity pull down into buy side liquidity. That's the one that we was kind of saying can be another one that's held. Every single one has held. We're still working our way out of that huge like it's been going on for forever, this accumulation down the bottom. So we've had some volume spikes before. Is today any different? We'll see, but we've got our target set up in the way of a long, and if we want to short if they run up there too quickly. So GeoEV again bouncing off of its buy side liquidity pool. This is where it's anticipating the foul, and from the pre-market high to the pre-market low. So we can see if we get another go. So we'll see what we get up there for 315, 320. If we get up there in the session, we might have another little short on our hands. LICY looking for its target now. I just had a meeting in the boardroom and we all come to the conclusion that we should cover Zcar. So given that it's really the only one with the news of a strategic partnership, it's only like, it's not great, but there's no financials disclosed or anything, but we do have a target down here at 155, but it's getting so close to the open now and having the level above. We've had the VWAP hold, we've had the buy side hold. Yes, sell side continues to hold as we speak, but as we've made money on SMR, XTIA, as well as Zcar, I'm happy to just leave that on the table. So I've just took the whole position. I should have really taken it off at 170, but it makes no odds. Let's see what it does. You know what? Even if we break 173, if that momentum starts to come in, I'll just look for a colour game play. I'm happy to do that. Rather than see a pop just back to the highs and lose what I had. So HPCO is now up there. I'm not getting anything really called out on the money flow scanner this morning else. No, thank you. HPCO. Yeah, see, it's getting some activity. It's just not worth it though, is it? It's nothing. The criteria is not set. XTIA. Again. That's like a good one back up to 264 as well. Let's see what happens here. CLRB. Oh my goodness, you're joking me. Nope. Let's see what's going on with those Mag 7s today. So what I have noticed, I don't know whether there's any indication of this, but the first things to pop yesterday and today was the Tesla involved weighted ETFs. Which I guess if you look at Tesla, I'm assuming it popped in the early hours. Yeah. Okay, so they're just aligned with Tesla. So in case of this is the level we drew in yesterday. For Tesla, it had a benchmark 2 up here at 173, 174. That was it really for the day for Tesla. It's just worked its way through the liquidity pool, went to the final level and now comes back to the beginning of it. So we'll see what else we have on Tesla for today. Based on yesterday's price action, using that benchmark because that's the key level. So we're looking for 168, 167. If we can get a short off Tesla this morning, it's got a huge pre-market range there. 75 is like $4 odd range. So that means best execution can be quite far away. Taking these levels off from what they were yesterday. Okay, so Tesla looking for a push down to 168 before anything else. Yeah, I'd want that to break. I'd just want that to break. We'll see. That's where I've got sell side and buy side. See where that gets to in the open. Yeah, that's fine. XTIA. Okay, there's XTIA crossing the barrier that is the low of the buy side liquidity pool. Just closing down there 217. Let's see what that does. I'm going to hold that position. See if it can't get any lower. If it can break those lows down there at 208, you never know. It could just fade down to kind of $1. So we'll see what we get on that. Right now, I'm going to take a break for for just over an hour before we come on back on with Trade the Poor and the guys over there. Let's have a quick look at who we've got on today.
CMND. 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 CMND.
Whoa. Alright, so this is one we got on watch. This is one that's been again residing in its
CMND.
So I had an intraday, and you know on the daily we have some serious levels to play with. I can get that 230, 736. So this is one again that I would wait for a pop. I want to see it come out above $2, pull back to a buy side liquidity, and then that's when we get our play. So this one's been on watch for some time here. CMND, let's put it on the most recent one. So the EMVB play did actually work out from benchmark 1. Backside, sell side liquidity, back through, anticipating a breakdown to 115. Anyway, what have we got on today? Just myself and Michael on this morning. We've got a special guest on tomorrow. So I'll be back with you. Stream switch. I'll leave this on with the scanners until that happens. What's said card doing now? Okay, yeah, so another bounce play off there. Yeah, I'm good with that cover. That's fine. All right, guys. So I'll see you back. I'll be here. I'll switch to streaming Tradecast start on YouTube. I will be over on the Trade the Balls channel. I'll catch you later.
Liu. MDAI, grab. QID. TSLT GMM TLRY TSLT Lymph Lune ZVSA GMM plug TSLT ACB CMND GMM CMND BT GMM Lilm Boil 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 CMND SQQQ. 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 NVD. QID. SQQQ. TWM. Boil. Boil. TWM. Boil. Boil. TWM. TWM. Socks. Boil. NVD. Boil. NVD. Socks. Socks. SPXU. Boil. Boil. QID. NVD. SQQQ. Boil. FNGD. NVD. TWM. Boils. FNGD. NVD. Boil. 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 Socks. Tex. QID. TWM. SQQQ. SQQQ. Socks, socks. Socks. NVD. Tex. NVD. TWM. ICCM. ICCM. ATNM. 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 VNet. VNet. ATNM. ATNM. ATNM.
Right, guys, I'm switching over to Trade the Pool right now. So if you hang on in Tradecaster, you will get it delivered to you in a second. If not, head on over to Trade the Pool on YouTube and I'll see you over there. Alright guys, it's been a good morning and I'll see you over there. Cheers, bye bye.